had this event in Delhi on October 6th called Beyond Barbed Wires. It was organized by Mr. Rafiq Ilyas, a very noted cinematographer, photographer, videographer, movie maker. And he made a video about this Deoli and Chinese people, the Chinese Indian people. And he organized several meetings, right? So I'll have Michael and Stephen talk about it very soon. And it was a very successful meet over there. And there were some NGOs and some people in the government, bureaucrats who were part of the meeting. And for this Kolkata meeting, it was a very, very short notice. We organized this whole thing within 3 days, including today. And I'm glad that I have even this much people around us. We purposely did not include any bureaucrat or any politician who are usually part of our anything occasion. And people over here kind of agree that right now we don't want them. So without further ado, I will introduce the panelists. We have Mr. Michael Cheng here. You pronounce it Cheng?
That's correct.
Okay. He was born in Darjeeling long back, and he was interned in 1962 along with a huge amount of people from his family for 2 years. And at that time he was just 6 years old. He was released in 1964, and he went back to Darjeeling in Kolkata. So he stayed in Kolkata for some time, and then he went back in 1972 and reclaimed his family shoe business over there. And in 1980 he left for USA, never to come back. And of course, is this your, how many trips you have made since then?
I don't know. I think probably I make more than dozen trips. Probably more than dozen trips to 20 trips. Probably.
Okay. And in 1992 he was naturalized over there. So in 12 years, staying as he claims proudly an illegal immigrant in America. In 10 years, 12 years he was naturalized as an American citizen. A gift that a lot of our senior citizens over here don't have, even after living for 60 years. Michelle and Eva, and they, along with his wife, Patsy, they run a restaurant for 34 years in North Carolina, in a city called Shelby. And so he's been involved in Rotary International, and the AIDCI means the Association of the Indian Deoli Internees, right? Deoli Camp Internees, since 1984. And that is this association is part of the reason why he came to Delhi. The next person in our panel is Mr. Stephen in Kalimpong. He was also taken away in November 19th. He remembers the date, okay? And this is different. November 19, 1962, when he was 13 years old. So he was considerably older. So he knew what was happening. And he was released in 1964. He stayed in Kolkata till 1969, and that is when he left for Canada forever. And he got his citizenship in 5 years. Were you an illegal immigrant there? No? You were a legal immigrant?
Landed immigrant. Yes.
Okay, so landed immigrant, and then you got your passport citizenship within 5 years?
Yes.
So that's a great story about how a developed country takes care of people who immigrate to their countries. Especially the Chinese, who are known to be honest and hardworking. He worked in the day and he studied evening classes, and he joined Kellogg, who makes all your cornflakes, okay? So remember him, he was the industrial machinist over there for 36 years. So that is something that we are all very proud of. Somebody who have seen a conglomerate as large as Kellogg is one of the largest companies around. They run the Kellogg International MBA school, which is the best, known as the best in the world, okay, in the US. Move on to the next panelist right now. We have Mr. John Liao, who was born in Calcutta. He was interned in 1962, and he was also 13 years old. But he was interned for 4 years as opposed to 2 years of the other people. So this begs the question why he was held for 4 years and the other people were held for 2 years. It's something that nobody has answered yet. And he is married with one son, and he has stayed on in Kolkata since then. and he runs a business over here, successful restaurant business in Salt Lake. Mrs. Monica Liu, who is held up and with some meetings with the corporation officials, she will come and give her intro. She is basically the owner of Beijing restaurants and a string of other restaurants along with Tung Fong on Frisco Street. And she will also come. She was also interned in this Deoli. We'll start off with this short video by Rafik, and then we'll move on to them telling about their stories, short stories, and then we will interact in Q&A. Okay? So let us just.
I asked our Rotary member, I said, raise your hand. The China have interned us. Or you think the Indian. So, surprisingly, most people just raising their hand when I asked them China was interned us. So, that how this thing was kept is so secret or unacknowledged. So this thing for 40-something years or 50-something years, people don't want to talk about. Everybody will talk about, but they don't want to talk about in the public. Or don't put my names on it. I don't want to be named. See, those kind of things going on. So our journey started with that when Rafik come to Toronto make the films, and then after he come to Toronto, and then later on he went to California and spoke to Yin Marsh and Joy Ma about coming to India. Take an opportunity to during the Gandhi birthday, and then go to the celebrate Gandhi birthday, and then take this opportunity to talk to the media. So I was not at there at that time. Then later on, Yin Marsh come and spoke to me. Then I told Yin Marsh, I said, well, if we're gonna go, we're gonna go. Even only you and me, two of us, we're gonna go. We don't care. And then that's what the deal comes. So during the process, we have different names called, we name different names. So finally we call ourselves Deoli Wala. So we all agree on Deoli Wala because it's kind of not so sad, it's give a little fun of it. So when we are coming to Deoli, one thing I was very surprised. Not only me, I think I'm sure my fellow other internee member will agree that. To those who went to Deoli, all the Deoli members will agree that. We are surprised. The first surprise, we have so many media interested to learn what happened. So still lots of people don't know what happened about the Deoli camp interview. And second surprise, I could not dream that we have so much support. Those people, journalists, publisher, scholar, some professor, and some people work for non-profit organizations. They're all so supportive. So it's not like what we think, What we think when we come to Delhi, we'll probably face some challenge. It's totally different. It was a lot more supportive. I would say not a lot more. Actually, it's 100% supportive. We even have a hiring officer. They invite us to their house to have a dinner, and one very hiring military officer, he take us to lunch. And all of them, they said it's whatever happened to us, they personally feel very sorry for us. And they said, some of them, they said, they shame what happened. I remember one woman's come during our talk in Delhi. She, at the end, she said that even the Indian government will not apologize, but we will apologize. I'm going to apologize for you. See, so this is the thing, you know. One human being to other human being. That's come to nature, you know, to understand that. You know, one violate the other one. It's not right. They understand that. So Delhi trip was like I said, surprise. And then, so I hope Calcutta, especially Chinese people, were willing to speak up. And please don't worry, don't afraid that, you know, not to mention your names and all that. I think the things changing. India have changed. Last 50 years, I think, maybe you guys here maybe didn't see change, but I think I definitely see change. And I think the leaders now is more open, and also people's mind also more open now. I think it's time to bring this thing up, to bring this whatever happened to us. It's time to bring it out and let people know. And it's good for India and good for us. So what happened? As long as this thing we don't talk about, because we don't have trust because of that. So we need to, both sides have a dialogue. Bring out this our topic. Bring out this, and both sides talk about that, and then slowly we build our trust together. So only with the trust, right? We can lots of things, can solve lots of problems. I can keep on talking this for again over and over. My experience with the Delhi camps, because I was 6 years old, so lots of things, probably in the rooms, probably lots of, they know more than I do. I'm more focused on to talk about education, how I lost my education, and how it impacted my life. So my family is 3 generations. I think my grandfather came to Calcutta, and my grandfather came when he was 14 or 15. No, I'm sorry. My grandfather comes, and then my father was when he came, he was 14 or 15 years old. He was in Calcutta. Later on, he went to Darjeeling. I guess he liked Darjeeling. He liked Darjeeling so much he married another wife. So even though he had a first wife, which is my mother's in China, he liked Darjeeling, so he married another lecture woman. So anyway, he liked Darjeeling, and then after that, he never came down to Calcutta, and then he remained in Darjeeling, and he kind of blended into the Darjeeling society quite well with the culture and all that. So one day I kind of remember that, you know, one day that civilian police officer come, and I don't know what they're doing, but after they talk, and then later on they put a handcuff on him and put a chain on his leg, and they kind of drag him to the down to the market. You know, that's quite a humiliation. You know, you ordinary man, businessman, you know, you contribute to the community, and suddenly, you know, you're treated like a criminal and drag you down to the police stations, and then locked up in the station for 10, 20 days, and later on, they took us in the Siliguri jail, and then from Siliguri jail, they take us to Rajasthan camp. I'm sure they later on you will heard a lot more about our camp experience with Stephen and Mr. Liao and Monica about that. So So in the camp, I was still too young, and then lots of selfishness, and then the hardship. My parents sheltered that. So I remember that is at times really hard to pass. You know, we're doing same thing again and again. We don't. You see, the school was taught by the volunteer teacher, and come on, you cannot leave. You must be getting bored.
No, no.
I
didn't care.
No, I understand.
Don't mind.
All right, I see.
We are childhood from Mount Darjeeling.
Yeah,
We still speak Nepali. That's another guy. From Malbaja.
Okay, understand that. Yeah.
I'm on my time.
So time is the school is basically we don't learn anything. You know, that's the year 6, 7 years, 6, 7, 8 years old. That's the best year in our childhood life that you learn. You know, you play with the kids. Through the playing, you learn things. How you interact with people. You know, that we missed it. So instead we inside the barbed wire and then just killing the time. That killing the time is actually, you don't know that's really killing us. So in the camp we really didn't learn anything. When we can get out from the camp, because of the, when we come out of camp, we don't have no compensation. We don't have any money. So only school we can afford to go is a Chinese school. Because the Mekong Zhongxie that time, right? That's a Mekong Zhongxie that was heavily subsidized by the Taiwanese government. So that's why it's a very cheap to go. So whole family that's the only school you can afford to go. So that school only have 6 years up to 6th grade. And after 6th grade, then most of the kids transfer to the English school. But my situation, I was 3 years behind. So no any English, I didn't expect like a really good school. No like even the social school will not take me because I was so big. So because of that, right, I just lost my education. Because after after so many schools you visit and then they reject you, I just lost my education. So the last time I went to the school, I tried is the AG Assembly of Church. God Church. That's cool. Me and my brother went. So I was trying to admit to the admission for 6th grade, and my younger brother was trying to get in the 5th grade. But again, because the age was so different on my age, so they didn't take me, but they took my brother. So then that really, I knew that my education life is over. So that's why I never been back. So my younger brother, he continues his education. He done well. He became a doctor. Yeah, and I am become a dishwasher. So I'm a dishwasher. So the education people don't most normally people think, if you don't have education, so what a big deal. For some people, it's no big deal, but to me, I was thinking the same thing. I said, well, I didn't have education, no problem. I have food to eat, I have clothes to wear, no life. Quality of life is very different. That thinking, a person thinking, the way you're thinking, how you process your mind, those make a big difference. Especially youngest daughter. She represented our district to go to compete in the spelling bee, national spelling bee in Washington D.C. I don't know how many of you know about what national spelling bee DC. Oh wow, most people know. So it's a very prestigious spelling bee competition. So she went 3 times to compete from the district, but she never go beyond 3rd round because those 287 kids who are in the competitions, each of them family can help the children. See, those things are very intense spelling bee competition because the parents I see parents, right, while they're eating lunch or dinner, they try to quiz the words to the children. While they're driving, they try to make the kids spell. So they can do that. With my children, I cannot do, because those words are so difficult, especially those Latin words. I even cannot, not Latin word, even the English word I cannot spell, I cannot pronounce that. So I have a hard time. So that's the reason, she cannot. And especially the last time she went, see, that's after 14 years, then you cannot compete anymore. So on the last final year on her spelling bee year, she thought she could make it to 6, 7 rounds. She even didn't think about getting a champion. Just 6, 7 rounds, she'll be very happy. But she got failed in, she got dropped out. She got disqualified in the 3rd round. So that really hit her hard and also hit me hard. So she was crying in the night time. So she cried and I cried. But you see, I don't cry in the public. But in quietly, sometimes when I think about that thing, I do cry because I failed her. People like us, right? When Deoli came, right? Mostly it's kind of act like a tough. We act like we don't cry. We have no emotions. But when the time sometimes it's quiet, when we think about all the things, what happened? Yeah, we do cry. The impact what it did to us, it have a long-term impact on us. So that's one my education story. That's how it impacted me. So it's not like a one generation of impact me. It's a 2 generations. 2 generations it affect our life. So I think that I know you have lots of questions. So I think in respect your to better steward of your time, I think I'm going to give to Stephen to talk. All right, thank you. Thanks for listening.
Well, as you know that I was born in 1949, but in 1962, I was in Dr. Graham Home School as a student, and I was 13 years old. And as you know, August the 15th is the India's Independence Day. And I was in a school parade, saluting the Indian flag. Proudly saluting the Indian flag, but 3.5 months later, that was in November the 19th, 1962, I was arrested along with my whole family as an enemy of my birth country of India. But at that time, I had no clue what was going on. But eventually, we found out that the day we were arrested, 28th of November 1962, actually that was the last day of the war of 1 month period. And to talk briefly about the being detained from Calvin, we were taken to Darjeeling jail. when you were arrested, my mother was all panicked. So my parents used to run the variety stores. Things go in and out, and she always had money in the house for business purpose. So the night when you were arrested, she was so panicked that she tried to carry all the money with her along with the family members. So eventually we ended up in Darjeeling jail. After 2 or 3 days in the jail, then all of a sudden the security people told us to come out of the cell inside, and they check our belonging. So all the money they found, they just confiscated. They just took it just like that. We tried to stop it, but we had no power. So the money was gone, that was that. So when we arrived in Deoli camp, we took this matter to the Interior Home Minister in New Delhi. Through the camp commandant, this matter we took it to the camp commandant. The camp commander took this matter to the New Delhi Home Minister. But with all the effort we put it in, we never got any answer from New Delhi. So that was the end of the matter for the money. But that was what it was, and it was like that, and you just forgot about this. Now, talking about when you see the video, like about the medical system, like the operation and all, I still remember very vividly. When we were in the camp, people line up to get a medical treatment. Whether you got a stomach ache, stomach pain, headache, all they give you is the same medicine, the pink colored drink. For stomach ache, anything. And lastly and all, my mother used to have the high blood pressure. So quite often she has the dizziness, so we take her to the medical center. It's the same old drink, the pink drink. So our whole family was in the camp for 2 years. So after 2 years, we were released with about 150 internees. So as the train reached to Howrah Bridge train station, we were eventually let go. So as we were coming out of the train, and there were 2 gentlemen approaching from the different direction. But those 2 gentlemen became internees. They were released about 3 or 4 months ahead of us. So those 2 people, they came to Howrah Bridge to welcome us. See, but the thing is that the security people saw those people coming over, and they stopped them and asked for the permit. They didn't know that they're going to have a travel permit to Howrah Bridge. So for not having the permit to Howrah Bridge, so they were arrested and put it into the jail for the night. But the thing is that after a couple of days, we were in Chinatown, and we heard the story that those 2 gentlemen were released eventually. Now talking about Chinatown, from Howrah Bridge, we were thrown into the lorry or some buses in the middle of the night. We didn't know where we were going, but eventually we ended up in Chinatown, and right inside Chinatown, don't know what the street name is, and we were just thrown out on the side of the road, and don't know who they are, and they pick us up. My family took us to different Chinese temples, schools, and social clubs. But the unfortunate part with my family was we were taken to some kind of a temple right in Chinatown. And by that time, sort things out, and we went to bed on the floor of the temple. That was somewhere around 2 o'clock. So we went to sleep. Sometime around 5 o'clock in the morning, that's only 3 hours after, we were woken up by the people in the temple. And they were saying that you have to get up because there'll be cops coming in. Cops mean dead body, They are bringing the dead body inside the temple for the funeral service. So our family and some of the family were all waken up 5 o'clock in the morning, pack up our belonging and blankets, taken out of the table and thrown out of the side of the road. So eventually, somewhere around 8 or 9 o'clock, people pick us up and send it to the close by the Chinese school. That's where we stayed there for the next 2 or 3 years. So that's the incident in Chinatown, and there are lots of stories to tell. For instance, when we were detained in Darjeeling jail, right? They confiscated our money. That's one thing. Now, my father, he was the head of the family. So just because he was head of the family, the jail authority inside, they put my father in the solitary confinement for 3 days and 3 nights. Just because we had the money. And they thought that the money is, just because we were thrown into the jail, they treated us like a criminal. But we are not. We are just ordinary, hard-working Chinese Indians. But we cannot correct it, and that was the way it was. Now it has been over 50 years since the war, and we always ask ourselves, why we were arrested but not the rest of the other Chinese family? We think and think and think, and the only reason we found out is since my mother used to run the business, she needs the money her to expand. So she got the loan from the Bank of China in Calcutta through some distant cousin who used to work in the bank. So she got the loan from the Bank of China. And to this day, this is the only reason we think that the Indian government thought that our family was connected with the Communist China government. They thought that we had some connection with them, that's the reason they were arrested. And we cannot find out any other reason. And to this day, we don't know the reason why. What is gone, but we are still surviving, and for the better. Yeah, when we were in Kalimpong, my father's and mother's movement in town, wherever they go, the CID officials are always behind. We never had a private bathroom in the house, so my father, every so often he goes to the public washroom, and the CID official, he follow him back to the public washroom, follow him back home. That's how strict the Indian government was, but all they did, whether you say it right or wrong, you just wasted your time. And so I come back here to India after 46 years. I went to Canada in 1969. So this is the year I come back. That's after 46 years, and the first city I landed on is in New Delhi. We had an engagement with NDTV, and the NDTV interviewed us. Like, as you know, that I was just a tradesman. I'm not a professional writer or journalist. And when I was interviewed by NDTV, that was the first time I talked in public. And I was so nervous. I was in the camp for 2 years. I was so nervous that instead of saying 2 years, I said 2 months. So I'll just let it go like that. Story, there's lots of things to be told, but I'll hand over this matter to John, and maybe he can carry on something of what we went through.
I think people want to know a little bit about how life was in
Kolkata in 1949. I was studying in Timor Chinese High School till class 5. Then one afternoon around about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, myself, my brothers were coming back from school. Then we discovered some policemen and security from registration office. They came and said to back up, and we are putting under warrant arrest or something. That time we were too small. We were about 13, 12 years old. Now, it was, which year? 1962. We were taken back to Rajasthan by the train. We were there in the trip for 3 days, 3 nights. But somehow in Rajasthan, the life there is a little different from the life in a city like Kolkata, because that is an internment camp where we are confined there with only Chinese community, where we cannot learn anything. But the life in internment camp is quite happy. I'm quite happy. I have learned a lot of things from there. In fact, I have learned Confucius teaching. I have learned English grammar very well. Then we have learned a lot of hard work. We have to work everything ourselves. Morning we help our parents to do household work. Then some of us who know cooking, they do cooking. We do gardening. At night we do some like attar. Attar means gossiping, you know, what is going on in every day. So in barrack where they are staying, practically every night they have some program, singing, dancing, program was there. That we were too small, no? 14, 13 years old, so we could not take part in it. But we have learned the tolerance in Deoli camp. And what we need is this tolerance from Confucius teaching. From there I picked up a lot of teaching and have started, after we were released in 1966, after 4 years. That time I was in class 5 when I was in Kolkata, Chinese school. You know, Chinese standard very low. When I joined English school, from class 5 I joined in class 1 English school. So it is a lot of 4 years to be wasted there. But anyhow, when we are in Rajasthan, life is pretty good. We have learned a lot of things there. We have learned hardship, how to work hard. Then secondly, we have learned sincerity. We have learned the truth from Confucius' teaching. I have learned how to balance life, external and internal. Because I have discovered in between there was a big fight between pro-Taiwanese and pro-communists. Some big fight was there. So there I come to know this is all Maya. In our Hindu scripture, this is all a Maya. These are all illusions. It is there, but it is so powerful. Even Lord Shiva, when he was incarnated as Ram, not Vishnu, when he was incarnated as Ram, he was also under the spell. So water is idea also coming from the same pure consciousness. That's what I have come to know. But anyhow, this is part of our the teaching I have learned from the Confucius teaching. But actually, life in Deoli is not at all bad. We were being looked after very, very well. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. There are a lot of Tibetans were arrested from the borderline, and a lot of Chinese, Cantonese, Hakka. But yes, they are from borders area. They are being arrested. There are some reason in it, right? Because of border, they might be acting as spies or something. But we are from Kolkata. Why you arrested us? I'm a citizen, my father is a citizen, my mother, my grandfather, they're all citizens of India. My grandmother also born in India. Why you arrest us? Then I came to know it is because of two factions. There's no reason why should we are getting arrested. Our batch was the last batch. All the first batch was arrested, our family. That means my brother, my sister, my father, my mother. Why should you arrest them? When my father is a citizen of India. Because that time democracy in India is still at the primary stage. But now it's in full maturity. So you cannot just arrest people without any reason, without any cause. Now we can fight. But government, we have to obey the law. But we have not committed any crime or any deeds or that is harmful to the government. So, but anyhow, it's a good experience in Deoli camp. There are a lot of things that you keep on reminding, keep on thinking what to do, what do you get sleeplessness, you get insomnia. No, really. It is true. Because my father in Deoli camp, very interesting, somehow he read the newspaper about homeopathy. And he applied to study homeopathic course at a very nominal expenses. He studied in the camp, they send literature and all, but no practical experience. Then my father used to tell me this medicine for this, that medicine. I said, yeah, I did a small globule, sweet, tasty, like sugar. How you can cure disease? But in fact, it cures. Like carbohydrates, if anyone suffers from indigestions, if you get a heart attack or heart pain, you take carbohydrates, it goes away. I was wondering, what is this? If you have taken too much drugs, like the what you call for indigestion, as I said, that red mixtures liquid. I know what. And that will help you for that. But my father had learned a lot of things, so he used to tell me this. So one day I was thinking, why India and China conflict? For what reason behind why they have conflict? I could not reason out. Then later I came to know, because of the border issues, that's okay, one thing. Now coming back, why we were arrested? So definitely there is somebody who brought Taiwanese. They brought up the issue, my father, my grandmother approached communists in China. So they are the first victim, pick up my father, and the whole family was picked up. We are the victim of this, pro-China and pro-Taiwan. That's all, nothing else. There is no enemy between them. My father was very good gentleman. He loved people, he used to help people. Everyone in Tangra, everybody knows him very well. My father was working in a chemical company, he getting 300 rupees those days. And he had to support 5 of us, 5 brothers, 4 brothers and 1 sister. I remember my mother, she used to work very hard. And she spent not more than, I think, 5 rupees a day. She will not spend more than that for the breakfast, lunch and dinner. How she managed that? But very interesting. Even in camp also, but government are very good, they are looking after us very well. That I cannot deny. But how the incident broke out in one fine morning, the Tibetan and Chinese, they starting thrashing each other, that I was too young to understand that. But anyhow, education, we were released after 4 years. Then we worked very hard, sincerely, just keep on working, keep on studying, just to mark up or memorize the thing. Then I said, let me study homeopathy, what is this? So I joined homeopathy through some doctor. Those days homeopathy is not so popular, 1970, 71. So through one doctor, he managed to get me admitted in Calcutta Homeopathic College and hospital. Then I joined, I worked very hard, 4.5 years, then 6 months and practical work. Then I discovered allopathic, the most superior. Because in homeopathy we talk about miasmatic disease, 3 miasm. They don't take the disease, not the patients. So that's the difference. Then I used to study what is the difference, this and that. Then I got the superiority in homeopathy, they treat you at the root before the pathological invasion attacking the organs. Before that you correct it. it can be guaranteed in time. Any disease A to Z. In acute cases, children disease, you treat homeopathically, it works very well. It's very friendly. You can ask, you can try. Like children, most of the children, like infants, 1 year old, 9 months old. Sina is very chronic. Most of the children are suffering from worms, and they work very well. And children suffer from running nose because exposed to park outside play, they get running nose. A lot of medicine works wonders, like miracles. But now in recent research, they discover there are certain medicine is very good for carcinogenic disease also. But that is still a long way to get. Once it turns into carcinoma or something like cancer, it's impossible. That we know it. But anyhow, coming back to this Deoli cat, we were quite small, but I mixed with the elders, like this Mr. Cheng. He is quite senior to me, more than 6 years or 7 years older to me. We were in that group. You find every evening, after dinner, we used to take out a long bench, 2 long bench, or one cot where you used to sleep. So all of us used to sit in that bench, on the bench and on the cot. So we used to talk about what it is and what is that, what's happening in but we know nothing only through newspaper. And newspaper also come after 1 week. We don't read the news.
Newspaper?
Yes, they give us newspaper. That's the old news. The census, a lot of them say, the census newspaper. The census are all important matter, they don't tell us. But it's like in Rajasthan, I learned a lot of things. What I am today is because of my learning the Confucius teaching. One thing I request our friends who are here maybe, we have to balance our life, external and internal, then it will go. Because if you only follow externally, earn, you may have billion rupees, but that money will not last. You cannot hold it. But if you balance it with your inner self, you find there is a balance, there is understanding. There is understanding. Then you will discover the divinity in you. This is what I have. Then from that time onwards, I work very hard.
Close to the Indian border. And those are the ones that are more intense. They took all of them. So when it comes to Darjeeling, right, it's a little further from border. So kind of pick and choose. And then come to the Calcutta, even less. So Calcutta, they kind of pick the one who they really suspect that have a suspect. Okay, I'm not saying they keep accused. I mean, they think that they have something to do with
some connection with communist China.
Yes, but Assam area pretty much.
Yeah, that I understand. That
So-
is, as he said.
So
Border, yes, but for Calcutta, they suspected that there's some connection with the communist government.
No suspect. It's a report because they are connecting with the Taiwanese government. So they give a false report to the security control
In India.
in India, in somewhere, I don't know which part, in Korea or somewhere, or I don't know which part of there. Not this, not in HSC postal. There's another one is in charge of Tengra area. They give the false report.
Who gave the false report? Some local people.
No, Chinese. They are pro-Taiwanese. They are the leaders. They misuse the power. They misuse the confidence. They just handpick. Oh, this just
He is
pro-China. So let this chap and the whole family.
just ad hoc.
This is not a jealousy, nothing else. My father was very, very good. My grandfather, my grandmother was very good. You can ask anyone in Tangra, they will tell you. They are so kind, so nice. Even
So
you
this
don't
is
have hardly
random
to eat.
kind
My
of.
father only
Not
300
random.
rupees a month. You have to look up
No,
that.
No, I understand.
It's
Somebody
yes.
pointed them out.
Yes, somebody handpicked that this fellow putting up. So that's the reason.
Any other question?
Not many days.
16
Wrong
years.
one. The war started on the 38th of October.
And it-
No, 20th of October,
Uh-huh.
and ended on the 20th of November.
Correct.
Just
But
one month.
what prompted, or what do you think is the reason why you people were held up for 2 years and 4 years? And why that such a long period?
Yes, that we do not know. What is the reason? We have to ask the central government in Nehru time in Delhi. They are telling us all the facts.
I don't understand. Something.
I think that question was asked in Delhi also, right?
No, yeah, that question, right? Of course, one of the hiring officer told us that we should ask for the there's some kind of law. You can, like a journalism, have a right to ask the open the law, open the case. What they can ask. So we need to have somebody to or journalists to open the case why it happens. Right? But again, part of it, right? Part of it, I really believe, right? Our community leader, our overseas Chinese leader, right? They fail us, they disappoint us. You see, when we was intern, right? After 6 months, after no more than 1 year, our local community leader, overseas community leader, Chinese leader, he should write a letter and appeal, all right? Ask the Indian government to consider to let us out. Have some dialogue. Have something. Ask the Indian government what we can let this people out. Have some constructive conversation. But that thing never happened. I don't know his, so I don't know if there's an interest, his personal some yen, or he's too scared.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
What
too
happens
scared.
is
I think you're right. It means be too scared to open up because then they feel that they might be also.
But again, there's lots of rumors now. But right now, I don't care anymore. Right? My children's grown up. My children's grown up now. They can that. I don't care. I can speak on my mind, whatever. But right now, there's a lot of. I talk to different people. Our community leader have a financial benefit. The Taiwanese government giving lots of money to the money changing hand. Okay. So that
could be.
yeah. So I think that go back to that simply. First thing, of course, the Indian government have take us to the camp, right? And then keep it for 4 years. Definitely that cannot be deniable. But at the same time, our leader also failed that. Our own Chinese community leader also failed to do his job, which is sworn in to be a leader. He should be stand up, and even if he have to jail, he should be not afraid to
Fight for your rights.
for your country, right? That's what you sworn in to be. That's what you take the job for.
In the jail.
Yeah. So I think that's.
There was one thing mentioned in the movie that no records are available.
Yes.
Is that a fact?
Publicly available.
Oh.
In secret file.
RTI inquiries were made apparently,
And
but they didn't give it. I think it is something, people are saying it's something like the Netaji files,
Yeah.
but who knows? And there must have been records.
There must be records. Even today there would
Yeah,
be
there's-
records,
there's have,
but they are not disclosing
No,
them.
they're
Yeah, this
Yes,
is what
that's why.
the Indian government just to just keep it under the rug. They don't want to talk about it. That was the trouble.
Rafiq Elias tried twice.
He
He
did.
tried to write. I think there's those kind of record. In order to get it out,
Yeah,
you need to
You're
file
the RTI.
write the applications and then go through
It's
the
the right to
process.
Right to information.
Yeah. So he got a run. He said this department to that department, and they eventually come back and say they're back to square one again. So he did it again, and then go through, come back again. So didn't go nowhere.
That's why he's mentioned that the records are not traceable.
So for my personal story, like I was saying that I was born in '49. I applied for the Indian citizenship, but they denied me. So eventually, I got a Taiwanese passport and left India and went to Canada. Right? So I worked for Kellogg's for 36 years. And every now and then people, we have coffee together and have conversation, and every now and then people ask, where are you from? And that always hits me in my head right away that I just cannot answer directly, straightforward. I just have to hesitate for a while. They asked me, where are you from? And I was born in India. But I left India and went to Canada with a Taiwanese passport. So how am I going to answer it, And just to avoid the question, I just said that I just came from Taiwan. And I just didn't want to talk any further on of what happened with my past. It was just suppressed inside my mind. I just cannot talk it off.
Stephen, did they give a reason why they rejected your passport application? Did they give a reason?
There's no reason.
No reason. So the passport was rejected.
I remember that some of them, some of my friends, who they went as, they got their Canadian immigration as stateless Chinese.
Yes,
And
it's
they-
possible, yeah.
Yeah, they got it in that they went as landed immigrants with the stateless Chinese.
Yeah, I didn't want to wait, and my parents, they have some connection with their friends, and eventually they got the Taiwanese passport. Like Michael was saying that they always, the communist China, they want to have the attention and help those internees, from Deoli camp. So was the Taiwan government. They try to attract those people, and it's all politics, right? And only then, now lately, then I realized that this is the reason that I got the Taiwan passport.
He was born in 1949, I was born in 1949.
Right.
I managed a passport because we have connections, that's all.
No, you did lots of things. You did lots of good things because everybody knows that, okay? I want to thank you for that. Oh, he's the only one, right, in the internee camp, have a college degree, his brother and him. All right? None of us have a college degree. None of us even hardly finished 7th or 6th grade. But how he did it, I don't know. But he's a great, he's good, okay? But unfortunately, we even have a hard time to learn more beyond this reading level, but he did it well. So I don't know. My head's up to you.
4 years in the camp and then going back to class 1.
I request all our audience sitting here. Life is very hard, very tough. Practical, impossible to break the boundary between yourself and your prosperity. Because we know if we study our Swami Vivekananda book, Spiritual Knowledge, the most important part is how you are performing your duty. Everyone doing our duty, everyone doing our works, from A to Z for something in return. But one thing in life, I have gone through it, I have done it, I have succeeded. You just close your eyes, you do your duty. Think of nothing, just do your duty, that is allotted to you. You will get something. And that fruit, the result, also you don't bother. When just abandon that result also, you find the sweetness. The flow of energy comes to you. And time will come, it's a boom.
Do you have any more questions?
I am now staying in Salt Lake. I had a very tough life in 2000 and 2001. I established my business with borrow money. Some of them very close to me, I borrow money from them. From very close Indian friends, constructors, I built a restaurant. First floor, then second floor, third floor. It took me 4 years. And it took me 4 years to pay off the debt. But gods are very kind. There are many gods that go into